Dear student, good morning and namaste. Welcome to this educational program of Joint School Family Rupandai. It is a virtual class developed by Joint School Family, and it is specially designed for the student of class 9 and 10. I am your English teacher, and I am going to teach you English in this class. It is the continuation of the previous topic, that is active and passive voice. We are reading active and passive voice. Let's have a recap of what we have learned in our previous videos. We have learned the basic steps or basic rules of changing active voice into passive voice. While converting active voice into passive voice, first you have to find out the active structure. That is, you have to find out the subject, verb, object. You have to find out subject, verb, object in the sentence. And after that you have to convert object into subject and subject into object. While converting active voice into passive voice, you have to convert the object into subject and subject into object. Use suitable helping verb with subject. It means you have to use a suitable helping verb, suitable be verb plus past participle form of the verb in the place of main verb. The be verb are is, am, are, was, were, be, been, being. These are the helping verb. You have to use according to the tense of the active voice in passive voice. Always use third form of the verb, that is past participle form of the verb in the passive voice. And use preposition. We use preposition by while changing from active voice to passive voice. In active voice, subject perform the action. In active voice, subject perform the action and object receive the action. For example, Anna painted the house. In this sentence, Anna is subject, painted verb, and the house is object. Here, the subject perform the action. In passive voice, action is performed on the object by the subject. Action is performed on the object by the subject. The passive structure is object of the active voice plus helping verb, that is be verb, plus P3. Past participle form of the verb, and then by, we use the preposition by, and subject of the active voice. Example, the house was painted by Anna. The house was painted by Anna. Generally, active voice having a transitive verb can only be transformed or converted to passive voice. Transitive verbs can have both active and passive form. Intransitive verb used without an object. intransitive verb can be expressed in active form only. It can't be expressed in passive form. Other things we have discussed in our previous class are the structure of active tenses and their passive equivalent. We have discussed the active structures and passive structure of present tense and past tense. Today we are going to discuss the structure of future tenses. Let's have a recap of present structure of present tense and the past tense. The structure of simple present tense in active voice is subject plus V1 or V5 plus object. We use V1 with plural subject and we use V1 with singular subject. Singular subject agree with singular verb and plural subject is agree with plural verbs. And the passive structure is object plus ismr plus V3 plus by plus subject. And the present continuous structure of present continuous is subject plus ismr plus V4 plus object, and passive structure is object plus ismr plus being plus V3 plus by plus subject. Same auxiliary verb of the active voice is used here, and we have to add being. Being after being verb in past participle form, main verb in past participle form. Present perfect tense subject plus have has plus V3 plus object, and the passive structure is object plus has have plus been plus V3 plus by plus subject. And the present perfect continuous tense subject plus has have plus been plus V4 plus object, and there is no passive form of present perfect continuous tense. Now simple past subject plus V2 plus object, and passive structure of simple present tense is object plus was were plus V3 plus by plus subject. And the past continuous tense structure of past continuous tense in active voice is subject plus was were plus V4 plus object. And passive structure is object plus was were plus being plus V3 plus by plus subject. And past perfect tense subject plus had plus V3 plus object, and the passive structure is object had plus been plus V3 plus by plus subject. And past perfect continuous tense subject plus had plus been plus V4 plus object, and passive, there is no passive structure of present perfect continuous tense. Now let's discuss the active structure and passive structure of future tenses. First, simple present tense. The simple future tense, not we are discussing future tense, not present tense. First, simple future tense. The structure of simple future tense is subject plus shall or will plus V1 plus object. And the structure, this is the structure. Now example of simple future tense, Abik will write a letter. Abik is subject, and we have used will with Abik, and V1, write V1, a letter is object. With I and we use shall. In other cases, we use will. Now, passive structure of simple future tense is object, shall, will, same helping verb, same be verb, will, the same auxiliary verb, we'll use in passive also, and we use we add be, and after be main verb is in past participle form plus by plus subject. And the example is a letter will be written by Abhik. Now future continuous tense, structure of future continuous tense. The structure is subject plus shall will plus be plus before plus object. Example is Abhik will be writing a letter. This is the example of future continuous tense. And there is no passive form of future continuous tense. We can convert future continuous tense into passive form. The next is future perfect tense. Future perfect tense, structure of future perfect tense is subject plus shall will plus have plus be3 plus object. And the example is Abhik will have written a letter. And the passive structure is object of the active voice plus shall will plus have plus been. With perfect tense, okay, we use been plus b3 past participle form of the verb plus by plus subject of the active voice. Example is a letter will have been written by Abhik. And the last tense is future perfect continuous tense. The structure, active structure of future perfect continuous tense is subject plus shall will plus have plus been plus before plus object. And the example is Abhik will have been writing a letter. Is the example of future perfect continuous tense. And we can convert future perfect continuous tense in passive form, or there is no passive form of future perfect continuous tense. Okay? In this way, the four tenses can be converted into passive. Okay? Into passive. The four tenses are present perfect tense. Okay? Another is present perfect tense. Another is Desik, not present, present perfect continuous tense. This present perfect continuous tense, like past perfect continuous tense, future continuous tense, and future perfect continuous tenses can be converted into a passive form. Another important things you have to know while converting active voice into a passive voice, that is the pronouns. If there is I in the subject of the active voice, you have to change I into me. For example, I writes a letter. And the I change into me in subject in passive voice. For example, a letter is written by me. We don't write a letter is written by I. I change into me. And you write a letter. There is no change of you. A letter is written by you. There is no change of you. And she changed into her. For example, she writes a letter. A letter is written by her. She changed into her. They change into them. They write a letter. A letter is written by them. They change into them. We change into us. We write a letter. A letter is written by us. He changed into him. It remains the same. In this way, we change the pronoun while converting active voice into passive voice. This much for today. Other things we'll discuss in our next video. Thank you for watching the video.